Check it out.
Where's it hold it?
No, I don't want you to hold it.
I wiped it down.
Look what I got. Guess what it is?
Jigsaw puzzle.
A jigsaw puzzle. Look at the size of it.
Yeah, big jigsaw puzzle.
No, guess what I got?
I'm guessing it's your Lego Voltron.
Lego Voltron! Yes! Alright, this is the story of a man from New Zealand and a woman from England stuck in lockdown together in the city of London. London, yeah! London, yeah! London, where it's a bit of a shit show, actually.
But
right
the weather's nice. Come on, look out the window.
Yeah, it's starting to become spring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's showing me how much dust there is on my windowsill.
But yeah, it is. It's becoming pleasant.
It is.
Perhaps it's the lack of pollution. Have you seen the pollution figures?
No, I haven't, but I imagine it's partly just the weather being nice and sunny. I mean, yeah, pretty much all day yesterday we had the French windows open into the garden, so the dogs could run in and out as they chose, because it was as warm outside as it was inside, and it was quite pleasant.
It was quite pleasant. Got the washing dry.
Yep.
But yeah, if you have a look at the pollution figures, pollution's way down. So it was way down in China. And then they had a look at Italy, and Italy was way down because a lot of their factories and production stuff was in the north of Italy, which of course is where it was worst hit by this virus.
Yep.
Whereas with London, exactly the same. So the lack of traffic, the lack of industry, all of a sudden, the environment is nicer to live in.
Yeah.
For an asthmatic like me, I feel like I can notice it. I certainly think, like looking out at the pictures of London, you're not seeing that usual haze that exists across the city. So I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's almost like Mother Nature had enough of us fucking everything up and decided to get her own back.
She came for us in the night. Who is that as it foot of the bed? It's me. It's Mother Nature. I'm going to get you. I'm going to show you, humans. I'm going to show you. All right. Well, this is day 7 for us. Day 7 in lockdown. Yesterday we just did a special. We listened to the Big Nerd pub quiz. So we didn't necessarily do a proper show, but we had a lot of fun. Highly recommend the Big Nerd pub quiz.
Yeah.
It's online. Just hashtag Big Nerd
No,
pub
it's
quiz.
day 6. Episode 7. This is podcast 7.
Yeah,
but
but
it's day 6 because we did 2 shows yesterday.
Yeah, we did 2 shows yesterday, but today is day 7.
Oh, okay.
Remember how we talked before we came on air that we were going to change it, and now it was going to be day 7 because it is day 7.
Oh, okay. We're talking about what we're doing today rather than what we did yesterday.
Well, we're going to talk about what we did yesterday as well, but we're going to
okay.
change it so that it is day 7.
Okay.
Because previously we'd been doing the previous day. We did talk about this before we came on.
Yeah, we
air.
did. I misunderstood what you meant.
Listening.
No, I was listening. I was also looking at the stats, but I was listening. I misinterpreted what you meant.
Yeah, so on all the previous episodes, whatever day it's numbered as is always the day after the day it's numbered as. So we're doing a review of the previous day.
Yeah.
And that is ridiculously confusing. There's no need for that level of wankery on my part. So today is day 7 in lockdown. Therefore, this is episode 7.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're all on the same page now. It'll be easier for everybody else to follow as well.
Okay.
If you're following along with your little book at home.
Yes.
Remember to turn the page when Tinkerbell rings the little bells like this. I may or may not find a Tinkerbell bell ringing sound effect. Okay. If it went in, it went in.
Yeah, yeah.
It probably didn't.
Yeah.
It's a real pain in the ass.
Well, we can wait for the tinkle bells to arrive, and then you can record that and put it in.
Yeah. So yesterday,
explain to people what the tinkle bells are.
I was reading an article about Royal Mail, who were complaining that too many people.
The doilies.
Well, no, too many people.
It's not so fun, is it? When the boot is on the other foot. The doilies are coming in the post. There's too many people ordering doilies.
Well, it's not just doilies.
Doilies. There's so many doilies.
They're complaining about all the tat that everyone is ordering because everyone's just sitting at home and ordering a whole lot of garbage. And they're complaining about it because they have to go out and deliver it, and
Yeah, yeah.
they are
I mean,
risking.
so little of it goes through Royal Mail. Most of it's couriered, isn't it?
Well,
It's
see, a
the
lot of it
courier.
is now all of a sudden going through Royal Mail, and they're saying, we're risking our health to come out and deliver all of these things to you. Could you perhaps not order quite so much tat? Could you, maybe just stick to the things you really need? Like, it's quite important for us to deliver certain mail and health products and things like that. Maybe we could just stick to that and feel like we're helping society rather than just delivering your tat. And so we thought long and hard about that while we were waiting for Lego Voltron to arrive. Which is a real point, because yesterday the thing was, I was getting all these notifications on my phone. I got notifications from eBay and from Royal Mail themselves saying that, this package had been delivered, and here's the picture of this signature that had been signed for, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, where the bloody hell's my package? I was getting a bit ratty.
Climbing the walls.
I was, because I didn't think, if it's delivered to the wrong place, you just don't see it sometimes. It just never comes back to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know who got it, but she showed up this
Very
morning
nice lady.
in a boiler suit and a mask and
It
the
wasn't
whole
a boiler suit. It wasn't a mask.
she
She put it down on
rang
the
the
doorstep,
bell and ran away.
rang the doorbell, and then retreated to the end of the path, which is about 2.5, 3 meters,
Yeah.
and then shouted at me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for a person.
Oh my god.
It's for some wanker.
Keeping me busy.
So a nice lady brought it to the door, put it on the doorstep, rang the doorbell, retreated to the end of the path, and then shouted your name when I answered the door. And I was like, yes, thinking that's not me, but I get the gist. And she said, I got your parcel by mistake. I've left it there for you. I've retreated to a safe distance. So I said, thank you very much. I thought it was really kind of her.
Yeah, absolutely so kind of it. And I'm beside myself with excitement because now I have this Lego Voltron. And I should point out that this is something that I've wanted for years. Like, it's not some fly-by-night, last-minute crazy purchase.
Yeah.
Although it is.
It is, yeah.
But I've wanted this thing. Ever since I moved to London, I went to the Lego store, right? We didn't have those in New Zealand when I lived in New Zealand. I think they've opened one now, but we never used to have them. So it's quite exciting just to go to the Lego store. It was something I really enjoyed in my childhood. And while I was in there, I'm looking at all these huge sets that they do, again, that you can't get in New Zealand, big Lego Millennium Falcons and all this other really cool stuff. And there, sitting on the shelf, is this Lego Voltron. And I was just like, man, that is rad. And then I looked a little closer, and it's like, you can you actually build all 5 lions, and then you join them together. And I was just like, this is just such incredible value for money. And I thought, well, I'm going to get this. And I was all excited about it, and I was saving up, and then more important things came along, and
Ukuleles.
it's just not ukuleles, but all the reasons that I could think of in the past to get this thing. It just went away. Last year for my birthday, I thought I'm gonna get myself this. This is the treat that I'm gonna get myself. And then the day before my birthday, it was the Cricket World Cup final. I had just flown back from Portugal. I went to the centre of town, Trafalgar Square, where they were watching the final on the big screen. It was between England and New Zealand, so quite a big deal for me.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it there, and then England won. The crowd went ballistic. They knocked my phone out of my hand, and it smashed on the ground.
Yeah.
I was pretty gutted about that.
Yeah,
And then the exact price of replacing the screen on my phone was what the Lego Voltron cost. So it's just like, well,
Wasn't meant to be.
Isn't to be. It's the day before my birthday. This is just how it is. But then, the other day, I realised that they're not making this anymore.
Right.
They're not going to make Lego Voltron. And what happens with these Lego sets is that people buy them when they're new, knowing that Lego will stop making them. And then they wait. And then they sell them again once they become unavailable. And they make, big profits. If you've got one of those Lego Millennium Falcons and it's still in the original box and never been opened, all that sort of thing, you can double your money. It's a really safe bet in terms of an investment portfolio, I guess.
Yeah.
But they've only just stopped making the Lego Voltron. The price was already going up, and I'm sure the price in the future will explode. And I just thought, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
doing
going to
this.
get it and make it, though. You're not just going to get it and let it gather dust somewhere.
Oh, shit, no. No, I'm going to geek out so hard. I'm going to get all the Lego out. I'm going to sit at the table and I'm going to chew up some of these long, long hours stuck in isolation.
You have to pace yourself. You're going to have to do one a day or something. You can't do all 5 lions in one day.
I'm just going to do whatever I want. It's my little treat for me, and I'm so excited about it. You know, it's
you
not.
can get excited about it every day if you save it.
I
spread it
won't.
over
No,
5 days.
no, I'm not going to punish myself. I'm just
Okay.
gonna do what I'm going to do. I might find it actually, to be more difficult than I expect. I might be struggling with it. You might be talking about doing one a day. Well, I can't figure out where's this bit. I can't find this. Yeah, the whole thing. But some people out there might be like, well, who's this grown man playing with Lego?
Yeah, you
What's
probably
that
want to
about?
explain what Voltron is because I didn't know.
Well, now you're catching up, aren't you? You're watching
Yeah.
Voltron on Netflix.
Yeah,
You know?
I am.
Getting into it, starting to learn a little bit about Voltron mythology.
Should I do that as the movie review for today?
No. You should wait till you've done the entire series.
Is there a series? How many parts are there in the
7
series?
series.
7 episodes.
Series.
7 series.
Yeah. Fill your boots.
Oh god.
Have a good time. Hey, we are here to kill time. It will kill a lot of your time. You might even find
I'm
it.
quite looking forward to going back to work now.
Rather than watch Voltron.
Yeah.
Well, I used to watch Voltron as a child in the 80s. They had the original television show on
Yeah,
then.
I don't remember it at all.
And then,
We had Transformers. Is it like... Because that's what I thought Voltron was. I thought Voltron was a character in the Transformers when you described it to me. And that's not the case at all, people.
There's actually a really good series on Netflix you can watch called The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
And they go into the history of a lot of these toys, like the transforming ones, like Transformers and what have you. And they go into where they came from and how they were being made in Japan, and then how they market them to America and the rest of the world, and how they turned them into TV shows. And
Hasbro.
yeah, it's actually incredibly engaging television, and I highly recommend that series. I didn't think I'd like it, but it's really, really good. And even things like My Little Pony. Did you have a My Little Pony?
I did have a My Little Pony.
Did you like your My Little Pony?
I did.
Well, I highly endorse you watching the My Little Pony episode, because it's really, really engaging viewing. It's just really, really, really interesting.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it's the same with Voltron and Transformers. They go into that a little bit, and I enjoyed it as a kid. But when Netflix decided to remake it, I thought, wow, they're going to stuff this. But we started watching it when I still lived back in New Zealand, and we were hooked. It was great. The story's really good. I think all the little nuggets and throwbacks to the old program are great. I think what they've done with the characters and the way the story moves is great. And I'm pretty critical of that sort of thing typically, so I really enjoyed it.
Good.
And now I have this Lego Voltron to fill my time and geek out on. But this is where I was going with. What is a grown man doing with Lego? Well, one of my favourite writers in television is Trey Parker, who does South Park.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he does to get his mind working the right way when he starts on new creative projects is to play with Lego.
Oh, okay.
It just gets your brain working in a certain way. And I just think I couldn't latch on to a greater justification for my playing with Lego as a grown man than this story. So, we'll see what comes of it. It may be, that I play with this Lego and that's all I do with it, and you make fun of me. Or it could be that, it gets my brain working a certain way, and I bust out some amazing creative works.
Not like
you
this
know?
podcast,
Well, perhaps not like...
this show.
No, yeah. Perhaps not like this, but, I might write some music, or I
Okay,
might,
yeah.
write something else, or,
If you stay awake long enough.
Well, yeah. I'm feeling better today than I have the last couple of days. But then, it tends to hit me just after lunch. 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I just seem to hit the wall. I don't mind. If a siesta becomes a part of my normal routine.
Yeah, so be it.
What if you catch the siesta? What if you start having them?
That would be incompatible with working.
It may do, but you're currently on holiday because
True.
you are
Yeah.
technically in Budapest.
Yeah, we should be there now.
Should be there now,
Yeah,
but we are not there now.
we are not there now.
So it's nice to have something positive and exciting to talk about in the scheme of all the negativity that surrounds us.
Yep.
Another positive yesterday, Prince Charles got the virus. We're
Well,
not all into the monarchy.
no, I'm not at all. I'm not at all. But I wouldn't want to wish this on anyone.
No. Well, no, I wasn't wishing for it for him, you know. I didn't sit alone in my bunk, my hands clasped together, sitting on my knees.
Praying.
Come on, please let Prince Charles get the virus. No, it's nothing like that. But, you know, it's a major one. It's a reality check for a lot of people in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, they need celebrities and things to get the
Funny
virus
how
before they
quickly
make
you
it
got
real.
a test, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, and they were at pains at the press conference to say that he just got a test in line with, you know, everything that's normal. Like this, it was normal. Like, I mean,
It's
of course,
funny because everyone here only gets a test if they're being admitted to hospital, and he's at home.
it's total bullshit. I've got a
Yeah.
friend who's a nurse. She's been in terrible condition for the last week, and they won't test her. And her boyfriend is in a terrible state, and they sent him into A&E, and they sent him home. They said, "You're not in the worst 20%. Go home."
Yeah.
And he was in a terrible state.
Well, that happened to a
and
lady.
they won't test him.
They happened to a lady in who lives in Peckham. I read about on the BBC News website. I think it was BBC News. Lady lived was wife and mother at home. They called an ambulance on one day at 10:30 in the morning. Paramedics came, said, "Yeah, she's probably got COVID. She up what she eats, up her fluid intake, take the paracetamol, let us know if things get worse." And following afternoon, she was dead. Died at home.
Yeah. Yeah, that sort of... The really gutting thing is that sort of thing's going to become normal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are not going to be able to be treated in the health system. A lot of people are going to die at home. And it's tragic.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to see this in a lot of Western countries which just have not responded quickly enough to this pandemic. You know, I went online this morning and there were some articles that were talking about the difference in response between the New Zealand Prime Minister and the Australian Prime Minister. People love to compare the countries. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
And they're all, you know, praising the response of the New Zealand government because it's been so swift and basically, you know, they've reacted before the virus really breaks out and causes any problems. So the country's going into a world of dysfunction. You know, it's being shut down for 4 weeks while they try and contain the virus. But in Australia, the message from the government is completely wishy-washy. It's completely different between all the states. And there's people out everywhere, and no one's really committed to staying home in any kind of serious way. And the number of cases in Australia is just exploding. And they're going to face the exact same problem that we have and that the rest of Europe has. And what America is now facing. Oh my God, imagine living in America right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're out there listening and you live in America, you want to tweet us and tell us about your story, more than happy to talk to you. Our Twitter address is SIHWY, and you can just send us a message and tell us how you're coping out there in the States, because it doesn't look pretty from here.
Well, they're doing much wider testing than us, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're also not locking it down. Like, a lot of the individual states are taking it upon themselves because the federal government's not doing
I suppose
anything.
it's New York is similar to London in that it's a large metropolitan area. I think they've gone into lockdown, haven't they? In bits of California have, I think.
Yeah, I think I read there were 16 states that were
Okay.
going into their own voluntary lockdown procedures, but again, not in line with federal government or any of those directives. And
Yeah.
every one of Trump's bloody press conferences is absolute shit show as well. Like, it's just comical
Yeah, I haven't seen any.
and just so sad. It's tragedy. Anyway, but yeah, what I was getting at before with the comparison between the New Zealand and Australian government responses was the comments section. And they always say don't read the comments, but the comments were just full of the most angry, horrific vitriol, all targeted at New Zealand's female Prime Minister. And it was horrific, really nasty stuff.
What the Australians were writing, or people in general were writing.
I mean, the way it read, it didn't sound like New Zealanders were bagging the Prime Minister. I think most people in New Zealand right now are really happy with the response that they're getting and what's happened. There's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people who are saying, well, it should, why lock us down? Because, it's an ideological thing. But, we faced the ideology here in the UK, and look what that did for us.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute walking floppy bollock. So,
Floppy bollocks.
well, pendulous and ridiculous. So yeah, but a lot of these
dear.
comments on this article, it's one of those weird ones where things like that just attract these absolute people from out under the mat, and I'm wondering if maybe those kinds of people have more of a say in Australia than they do in New Zealand in terms of like the politics and the media and everything else, and maybe that's what's holding that country up. I'm purely speculating.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
But they certainly didn't hold back in the comments section, and it was just disgusting, And it wasn't like they were arguing politics, They were just having a go. They were just having a go at the Prime Minister. They were just being sexist and racist and really uneducated on how the virus works and everything else. It's just sad. But certainly something that we're all going to face in the coming days is going to be people, basically flouting the restrictions that are placed upon us. I personally think, this is day 7 for us. It's not going to be day 7 for everyone. But certainly I think by the time people get to that sort of day 5, day 6, day 7, the cabin fever does start to set in a bit.
Yeah, we can see that. We were talking about it earlier, the number of cars on the road that have moved. People have gone out this morning, whereas there's very little car traffic yesterday. There've definitely been movements of the car variety.
Yeah, people are getting fidgety.
Today. Yeah, we're only a third of the way through it. Not even a third of the way through it. There we are, a third of the way through, aren't we?
Oh, you're talking about the UK limit.
Yeah.
So, well, the UK's come out.
No, the UK thing started on Monday this week.
Yeah,
didn't
it did.
So
but they
we're
said
in day 3 of the countrywide lockdown.
Yeah, but they said 3 weeks for the UK.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
No.
I think we need to be realistic that they've said 3 weeks. It's going to be much, much longer. And I don't know what they're going to do about it when the time comes, because I think they're going to face pretty much an angry revolt. I don't think people are going to be understanding at all. I think...
I don't know. I mean, there's been a definite flip in terms of the attitude of people in the local Facebook group of why are people panic buying? This is all a massive overreaction to any people who are commenting saying, oh, there's a group of people having a picnic in the local park. And those people are getting ripped to shreds, selfish bastards, blah blah blah. So I think there has been a what do you call it? A big change in the climate. The thing that I think will be one of the tipping points is the announcement that's due tonight about the self-employed people, because lots of self-employed people have been carrying on working, and they're because they haven't got a choice. They're looking at going from their usual salary to less than £100 a week to live on, and if they've got a family to support or a mortgage to pay, yes, there are provisions in place for people to extend their mortgages, for 3 months, but they've still got to live. £100 a week to feed a family of 4. It will feed them, but it's not going to pay for their Netflix, all that. And most of those things that they're committed to paying for, you're in a contract. You can't take a break from paying your all of your subscription things. You can't take a break from paying your broadband.
Well, that's the thing. You say Netflix, but there's a lot more important bills that they wouldn't be able to pay on £100 a week.
Yeah.
You can't pay your rent. You can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay any of your bills. If you can get enough...
I was saying there's a holiday, or you can. If you can't pay your mortgage, you can approach your mortgage lender and you get 3 months for nothing.
Yeah, but that's not happening with rent.
3 months. Yes, yeah.
And so, most of us rent.
Yeah.
And, I know that our landlord... I'm obviously not staying at my house at the moment. I'm staying at yours. But I'm still paying rent at my other house.
Oh, yeah.
And we aren't being given any kind of let-off with the rent. That's a huge sum of money to be coming out of my bank account when nothing's going in. So... I am awaiting that announcement, and we'll see what it means for me and how they're actually going to do it. Because once again, I've brought it up previously, but there's a big difference between me cancelling the shifts and work cancelling the shifts.
Yeah.
My employer is seen as essential. So if my employee is seen as essential, does that mean that I still have to keep going into work, even though I have far less hours? You know, I'm not going to be able to make enough money, definitely, you know. And that's why you can judge me on my purchase of that Lego Voltron, because, you know, given the financial situation and the precariousness that I'm going to face in the near future, you know, it was not a wise purchase, but it has brought me a considerable amount of short-term joy, which I
how do we get onto that?
probably
We got onto
needed.
that through the Tinkerbell. Explain the Tinkerbell. Let's
Well, we'll come back.
to
We'll
that.
come back to the Tinkerbell, because I still want to. You know, I just think it's going to be really interesting to see what they come up with in regards to, you know, a plan, because
Yeah.
all the self-employed people, and this is true of a lot of industries. You know, we have self-employed and freelancers working alongside each other, doing the exact same job for the exact same pay, paying the exact same taxes.
Yeah.
But last week, half of them were given 80% of their normal pay, up to a cap of $2,500 grand, and the other half weren't. And it's
But that's if their employers choose to stand them down.
yes,
They
and
don't. They
that's
don't
the
just
point.
get it.
Yeah, and that's the point that I'm getting at. I don't actually think there's much chance that my employers are going to say stop coming in, even though I'm high risk, even though I've, you know, repeatedly put that to them. I don't think they're going to stand me down. I think I'm going to have to keep going. You know, I don't have another shift until the 4th of April, but it's a big concern for me, because I really don't want to catch it. But if I say I'm not going to go in,
You don't get anything.
I don't get anything. But then I wouldn't have got anything anyway if my employer's offering me work. Like, it's really, really hard to know what they're going to say. My hope is that they'll look at our average earnings over the course of the last 3 years, or taxes we've paid, whatever,
Yeah.
and then they'll look at an average sort of payment per month, and then maybe we can get a percentage of that against work we've lost. Because I'm sure I'm not alone as a freelancer in being able to say that I've lost a huge amount of my work,
Yeah.
and now working a tiny fraction of what I would have been working. So I still have employment, I still have those employment relations in place, but I'm certainly not earning what I was.
Yeah.
You know, am I still going to be eligible for any kind of help?
Yeah. Well, we won't know until they announce it.
No, but that's the big one that we're waiting for later today.
Yeah.
We'll be glued to the TV to try and get our heads around what the situation actually is, and whether or not I'm
Say that. I
eligible
haven't
for
watched
anything.
the last two evening broadcast things from Boris.
We haven't needed to. We just kind of watch the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should watch it live though, and then turn it off again, because
Mhm.
it's just the same loop of information going round and round and round, isn't?
Well, sometimes you need an explainer, because the way that they
Yes. You need somebody
originate.
to translate it for you into English.
Yeah.
Well done, BBC.
Excuse me, BBC. Do you speak waffle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you translate that waffle into something we can understand? A couple of bullet points, please. It'd be nice. Yeah. So I appreciate that. You know, they got some stuff right last night. They said Prince Charles has the virus.
Yeah.
Well done. But, you know, like we were saying, he gets tested for it, and none of the NHS stuff do. Just absolute custard. Oh, anyway, makes me cross. We were talking about how nothing exciting happens to us. Nothing exciting. And yet I keep forgetting to say that glass exploded in my hand. So I'm going to put the glass down on the bench, and it just explodes in my hand.
Yeah. What were you putting it on? Just as on straight onto the worktop?
Actually, I was putting it on top of another glass, the same glass. I was putting them together. But as soon as they touched, it just exploded. So I don't know how that works, but it was a surprise.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It really, really, really was, and yet it didn't make the show. We didn't talk about it at all. Happened right before we came on air, and just didn't mention it for 2 days. What was some other big news that was in the news yesterday? Netflix went down.
Yeah.
Huge. They're not
But
collecting.
we didn't notice because we had Disney on.
We were
We
busy.
read about it afterwards on the news.
They're not collecting our recycling.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's
Really
annoying.
sad.
I think, like a lot of households now, we actually put out more recycling than we do general rubbish. So
Yeah.
for them to suddenly not be collecting the recycling's quite a big deal.
Yes, and it means I've got to go out there and drag the full bag of recycling back in.
Don't worry, I'll do that. Yeah, otherwise, what did we do yesterday? You spent pretty much the entire day sitting on the computer with 4 different tabs of grocery
Yeah.
people open in front of you, trying to get to a point where you could order some groceries,
Yeah.
or even get a window for us to order some groceries.
I got up to position that. So getting to a low number is exciting, but getting, when you first log in or get kicked out and have to log back in, seeing what the highest number is can be quite entertaining. And the record so far in the last 24 hours has been, started off in the, I think the lowest number I got to was 2,000 and something. The highest number I got to in the queue was 164,955
Jeez.
people were in front of me in the queue. So I was 164,956th person waiting to get onto the Morrison's website this morning.
That's the Morrison's one.
Yeah.
Have you which supermarkets are you trying to target? Are you having any more luck with any of them, or none? Or?
So which ones have I tried? So the two that I regularly shop from are Waitrose and Ocado. Waitrose aren't accepting any new bookings. You can log in and edit an existing booking, but I don't have one. Ocado, you just join a queue. Highest number yesterday from Ocado was 66,806. And that was at 2 minutes past 11 at night.
Jeez.
When I logged in this time yesterday on Ocado, I was 13,079. So I just can't get into it. The other one, so we do have a slot booked with Tesco's, which is coming next Thursday, so a week today. But what I want to do is get a slot for a fortnight later, because the amount of things that normally I do a monthly food shop, and I get everything for the month in 1 month, and I get fresh stuff in between. But because there's a cap on how many things you can order, the cap means that I can only get, in effect, 2 weeks worth of stuff each time rather than a month's worth of stuff. So I need to have I need to have a place an order every fortnight. And this is, I need to. It's not that I'm stocking up on stuff. There is a finite amount of dog food that you can order, and my dogs get through a fixed amount of dog food, and milk and things like that. So it's not. So I'm trying to get on to book a slot for a fortnight after the one that we currently have, and I can't.
No, it's not going to happen either.
I just can't.
You're only going to get a slot 3 or 4 weeks from now at best.
Oh yeah, which is what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for one 3 or 4 weeks from now, because I've got one in a week, but I can't get one. That's the thing. I'm logging in just after midnight when all the slots are released, and not getting anywhere. Not even getting close. So yes, my regular ones are Waitrose and Ocado. Can't get with those. I've got one with Tesco's, but can't get one further ahead. I'm also trying Morrison's, because they were accepting new people to register, but can't get anywhere. As I said, I was, 500,000th away from the front of the queue. Sainsbury's are not accepting new people, so they have a priority system. So if you are self-isolating or in a vulnerable position, like me with my broken leg, and us with our long-term conditions, in theory you get prioritised, but because they're not accepting registrations from new customers, we can't get into their scheme. So Sainsbury's is out. I've tried Asda. Asda don't tell you where you are in the queue, just that you're in a queue and you're 4 hours away from the front of it. Who else have I tried? Yeah, that's it. So I'm in two minds as to whether to run the risk and venture out and try and actually physically go to a shop and do some shopping myself, and therefore run the risk of coming into contact with people and running them over with my mobility scooter, if I can get the mobility scooter out past the car that's parked at the end of the footpath, or trying some local delivery services for local people.
Yeah, I think the latter's probably a good option. Give that a go.
Yeah.
Don't like the look on your face.
Well, I just yeah.
Local people. I don't like them local people.
Yeah, I don't know. I still haven't heard anything from because I've registered as a vulnerable person with the local authority and asked them for help with posting letters, collecting groceries, and collecting my prescription, which is ready to collect now. And they haven't got back to me.
No. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they will soon, because the government did ask for a whole lot of volunteers to work with the NHS, and 400,000 people signed up, which is more than they were expecting.
Yeah.
And some of those people are willing to put themselves in harm's way and go out there and run their car around and do some deliveries. You know, although I imagine quite a few of those people are just going to be there to ring up other people.
Yeah, doing lots of telephone support and so
do
on.
some bits and pieces from their own homes.
Mm.
Yes. Speaking of other action in our home, I haven't been keeping anyone updated on what I've been doing on the exercycle.
No.
But I've needed to. But I've been slowly increasing what I'm doing on the exercycle. So 2 days ago, I did 2.8 kilometres. Yesterday, 3.7 kilometres.
Ooh.
That's all in one go. That's not with me stopping.
Yeah.
And my friends in New Zealand, the buggers, have added me to a WhatsApp group called Lockdown Push-Ups. And the guy running it, he's a good friend of mine, but he used to be in the army. And everyone in the group has said, what they weigh now and what they would like to weigh.
Yeah.
But the whole scheme is that every hour you have to do 10 push-ups for a total of 80 push-ups every day for a week.
Yeah.
And then that number increases.
Yeah. And how far into it have they got? Has he added you right at the start?
Yeah.
So have you done 10?
Today?
Yeah.
I can maybe do 10 for the whole day. I can't do 10 every hour. I do have a bung shoulder. I've dislocated my right shoulder 3 times. So it can be quite painful for me to actually do that motion.
Yeah, maybe you should do them against a wall or something.
Well, I may have to. I may have to do some soft and not so good push-ups. But I don't think I could do 10 every hour. I don't think I'd even have the focus or the
Why don't
diligence.
you do one every hour and then up it that way?
Do one every hour. Drop and do one. Well, who knows? But I'm going to try and do some. I'm going to try and do some push-ups. See what happens. But I did say that I was going to keep track of my weight while we were in lockdown. And I did weigh myself.
Yeah. On my scales.
On your scales. So you want to have I did tell you the other day about what I currently weighed when I came in to the house. Into the big lockdown house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to ask me to remember what you said?
Yes.
79?
It was 79.2 kilos.
Yeah.
Would you like to have a guess at what I weigh now, a week later?
79.3.
No faith. No faith.
What do you weigh now?
I weigh 78.1 kilos. I've lost 1.1 kilos.
Or my scales are different to your scales that you did the original.
I have very good scales. You have very good scales. I have every reason to believe that they are accurate.
Okay.
I give you an evil stare. I've definitely lost 1.1 kilos.
Did you do the body mass index thing? And
no, I don't know how to do any
what
of that
percentage
stuff.
of fat you are and stuff?
I don't need to, like I said before, I don't need to be shamed by a device that lives on the floor.
Okay.
So...
Well, you're the one who stands on it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to continue to keep track of it. Hopefully I will continue to lose weight. My goal weight is 70 kilos. So if I can get down to 70 kilos, I'll be pretty chuffed with that. It's got to be said. We were talking about groceries. I have mentioned previously that my dad was able to get his delivery of groceries.
Yes, but how'd your mum get on? My
mum also got some groceries. Did not get everything I ordered for her, but got a lot of stuff. But like it is here in the UK, there's a lot of the essentials that just are not available. You can't get flour. You can't get pasta. You can't get toilet roll. So she got none of those things. But
did you mention family cloth?
No, I'm not going to talk to Mum about the family cloth. I think that's...
Your mum would be well up for that.
No,
she's got a sewing machine. Bet she's got fabric.
Ugh. We are not to talk about the family cloth. It's a new...
What's wrong with the family cloth?
Everything is wrong with the family cloth. It's just horrible. So
There's loads of people on the green website saying that they're starting to give it a try because they can't get hold of toilet tissue.
so bad. Have you thought maybe we should have a tinkle bell?
What do you mean?
Well,
when we need to go, we ring the bell.
Well, this is the thing, right?
Do you need a break?
I wrote to her. You know, we were talking before about how the Royal Mail don't want us ordering tat.
Yeah.
I read that article directly after we ordered a tinkle bell for the dogs.
Yeah.
So that they wouldn't go to the toilet inside. We can instead teach them to use this bell by the door, which they would knock and ding when they wanted to go outside and go to the toilet.
Yeah.
It's a great concept. Yeah. Maybe we need something similar.
What, for us? What, you want me to announce when I'm about to go and have
Just
drop
ding
the kids off at the pool?
No, just ding the bell,
Yeah.
and I'll know to bring you the family cloth. And
Why are you carrying it around as a comfort blanket at the same time?
I will bring you the family cloth using the family tongs.
That'll be almost Roman. Rag on a stick.
The family cloth is so horrible. It's so
It's more
horrible.
than one cloth, and it's very clean. And then you wash it. It's fine.
It's just horrific. Everything about it is horrific. Anyway, so yeah, really pleased that Mum managed to get some groceries.
But not toilet roll.
Well, she says, you know, she's got something there, you know.
She's got a family cloth.
Oh, she doesn't. Anyway,
She
but
does.
they, you know, they'll have something to sort of get them started because, you know, there's a bit of mayhem in New Zealand in regards to going to the shops as well. So, yeah.
Do you know how your granddad's getting on?
No, I don't. I think Mum's been ringing him most days, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got him an Alexa speaker to talk to and keep him company and help him with some tasks. But we're still discovering exactly how it works. He's having a few issues communicating with it.
Yeah.
But
So we
yeah.
could talk to him through the Alexa.
It's not set up that way because it has to be set up through a phone number, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I think for that functionality it has to be attached to a phone. But otherwise, yeah, we could. But he doesn't have a cell phone.
Okay.
But yeah. I'll be interested to see how he's going, or maybe even find the time to actually call him. Would be good.
You should.
We just have to make sure it's within a window when he's up and about and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
See how he is getting on. But yeah, plans for today. I'm going to go out and post some letters for you,
You are?
which I assume are full of seeds.
Yep.
I'm also going to try and go to one of the local convenience stores.
When you say one of, there is only one.
Well, I'm going to go to the local convenience store.
Yep.
I'm going to find out, firstly, if it's open.
Yep.
See if there's a line around the corner or not. See
Yep.
if there's anything even on the shelves. But we do need washing powder.
Yep.
That's the number one. It would be really good to get some milk. And eggs, which are in very, very short supply. I don't expect to find those there.
Yeah. To be honest, if you get up there and you find pretty much anything edible, you should probably get it. You don't have any pasta. I've got gluten-free pasta, but you complain about everything that's gluten-free, so stop your moaning and get some ordinary pasta if there is any.
I think I've been pretty good about not complaining about everything. Complained about a couple of things, and I didn't even really complain. You just asked me what I thought of it, and I was honest.
Note for self, don't bother asking.
Just if he eats it and he doesn't throw up at the table, we'll call that a win.
Yeah. You got glutinous muffins yesterday, didn't you, with the blueberries? Have you had one yet?
No, I haven't had one yet, but I will. I will. I was finished. We made pancakes yesterday morning. I finished off the pancake mix this morning. It was good.
You finished off the pancake batter. There's still pancake mix, the powdered stuff in the jar. We made a bulk lot of quick pancake mix, didn't we? Nigella Lawson recipe. Basically, you throw everything in a jar, shake it, and then take out a cupful of powder, mix it with an egg and some milk, and then you've got pancakes pretty quickly. And they were all right, weren't they?
Yeah, they were good. The only thing that I'm worried about is the lack of eggs and milk moving forward.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We've got three eggs left. I mean, I've got things that I can replace eggs with. Banana and chickpea flour are good egg substitutes for those that need to find something to replace eggs with. But it's not quite the same if you're making something like scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Without eggs.
I do miss scrambled eggs.
Yeah, well, we'll see what
If
happens.
the eggs had come on Monday, I'd have had scrambled eggs by now.
Yeah, why don't you tell us what happened with those?
So, Abel and Cole delivered my... every week I get a vegetable box, and I usually get eggs with it. Not every week, because sometimes I, have enough. But I'd ordered eggs, and the eggs didn't turn up on Monday because they were having a problem getting hold of some. And then they emailed me yesterday to say something that was in my trolley wasn't available, or something that was in my basket wasn't available, so would I like to substitute it? So I went into the basket to take out the item that was no longer available, and because the screen was taking quite a long time to refresh and I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing, I managed to take the vegetable box out, and because they're not accepting new orders, I couldn't put the vegetable box back in. So I have sent them an email this morning asking them to do it for me and explaining that I'm stupid and did the wrong thing, and also that I have a broken leg and type 1 diabetes, and I don't really want to go out and have to hunt for fresh fruit and vegetables, and could they please reinstate my order that's been the same for the last 3 months, so I'm not just, a new person trying it on. But they haven't got back to me yet. So, but if the veg box doesn't come, then nothing else will come because there's not enough stuff in my order to take it over their minimum delivery value.
Drama.
Yeah. Yeah, so we might have to find an alternative to source of our fresh fruit and veg.
Might have
and
to
eggs.
find an alternative to food. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not at the point of starvation. We are a couple of weeks away from the point of having empty cupboards and empty shelves, but I have really enjoyed having the fresh fruit and veg each week. It's made me cook it, whereas before I was living on stuff out the freezer, and I haven't really touched the frozen veg since. In fact, I need to kind of eat it up, so make room for some bulk cooking meals that we're going to do.
Oh yeah, you've got it all planned out, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's up to you to keep us alive. I feel like it's my job to keep us entertained. And it's your job to keep us alive.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Anyway, am I holding up my side of the bargain?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, movie review time. What have you been watching? What did you watch yesterday?
What did I watch yesterday?
I have said you could write this down.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I watched anything yesterday.
You'd know if you wrote it down.
We watched some more of the Thin Blue Line, I think. What did we watch?
Oh, I don't know. I was busy doing my own
You were
things.
sleeping, weren't you? I watched Boss Baby the day before, didn't I? I've done that one already. I can't think what I watched yesterday. Oh, I watched the episode 1 of Star Wars.
Okay. See? I knew you watched something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and
give us the review of episode 1 is Star Wars. What is the name of the Star Wars movie?
Episode 1.
What is the name of the Star Wars movie?
Episode 1.
No, what is the name of it?
I don't know.
They all have names.
It's episode 1.
Yeah.
Comes up episode 1 on the screen. So.
Yes, so what's the name of it?
I don't know.
The name of the movie.
I have no idea.
Oh.
Episode 1. Should I say it again?
That's not the name of the movie.
Episode 1.
Okay, so you watched a movie you didn't even catch the name of.
Star Wars Episode 1.
So it's not the name of the movie. And what are you gonna give us a review? Tell us what it was like.
Well, it's a
What
Star
happened?
Wars film.
Yeah.
It was alright. 5. I don't know why I find it so funny. I mean, we've all watched. I mean, it's 20 years old now, isn't it? So it's not like it's a new film.
Here's a full movie review. Are you ready? It was alright. 5.
Well, you know, it's not part one of a 9-part thing, isn't it? A trilogy of trilogies.
God.
Went on a bit.
Just like you.
I thought it had ended, and then there was another fight scene. So yeah.
It was okay. 5. Oh, God. We should really just be doing a show of your movie reviews and only your movie reviews. Could have a little bite-sized gifs. Last 5 seconds. Here you are with your 5-second silly movie reviews. Brilliant. Okay.
I started to watch something, and then you said I shouldn't watch it because it could be interrupted by the big nerd pub quiz. What was that? Oh, not Captain America, Doctor Strange. So yeah, I started to watch. I watched about 5 seconds of that, and then we agreed it would be a bad idea to watch the first hour of it and then have an hour and a half out to do the pub quiz and then start again or rewatch it. So carry it on. So I'll probably watch that today.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
episode 2.
So do you recommend people watch Star Wars Episode 1?
I should think people should watch all of the Star Warses from beginning to end, especially if they've got the Disney, because then it doesn't cost them anything. It cost me a bloody fortune to buy those films on Amazon. And now I'm really fed up because I've spent the money. And actually, no, I bought the first 6 episodes on Amazon, and now I've got them for nothing in Disney. But all and the new ones, of course. So it's a good way to fill a few days, isn't it? Watching back-to-back Star Wars films, the whole story from beginning to end, and you can slot in the standalone stories in the appropriate chronology. So I think it's the first episode 1, 2, 3, and then Rogue One and the Han Solo movie, and then you pick up from episode 4. Carry on.
I think it's fair that people shouldn't have to watch them all, though.
Oh yeah, you don't have to.
No, you
but,
could just watch the good ones.
well, yeah, define the good ones. I liked Rogue One. I have to say I know I've watched the Han Solo one, but I cannot remember it. Did we watch it? Did I watch it with you in the cinema?
I don't have any idea.
I know I've seen it. I've only seen it in the cinema. I haven't watched it on TV. So I know I've watched it, but for the life of me, I can't remember what happens in it. Don't know. So it'd be like watching that one for the first time again. But I do remember I enjoyed Rogue One, and I think I've watched Rogue One. I might have bought that on Amazon as well, actually, because I thought it was good. It was a shame, actually, that was a standalone story. I'd have quite liked to see those characters develop.
Well, that's what I thought about the Han Solo movies. They introduced all of these new characters who were quite interesting and dynamic, and they killed them all off.
Yeah.
Every time you met someone new, they were going to die.
Yeah.
Like, oh, a new character, dead. Oh, a new character, dead.
I think
Oh,
what
a new
didn't
bad
help,
guy, dead. A new good guy, dead.
What didn't help was whoever the girl is in Rogue One. I thought that was the same girl that was in the last 3 episodes, so that confused me a bit.
Yeah, different person.
Yeah.
Turns out, she's one of my friend's cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, small world.
It is a small world. Also, they don't get along very well. So, I won't get to meet her or anything. Ugh. So, never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Righty go. We done for today? Do we really want to go through the death numbers before we go? Or
We should do.
do you think we should?
'cause
Should we bring everybody down? Should that be how we end the show?
No,
Here we
no,
go.
no.
Here's some misery.
No, I think what's a positive news story is the number of tests that the UK have done have gone up again. So we're now up to 6,583 tests have been done.
A day.
In the last 24 hours up to 9 o'clock yesterday.
Because they had been promising it was going to be 25,000 a day.
Yeah,
And that's just not happening.
It's making slow progress to get to that point. The real shocker, is the massive jump in the number of positive test results in the UK. So yesterday we were at 8,077 8,077. Hold that number in your head. Today, it's increased by 1,452, which is the biggest increase so far. So we're now at 9,500. So it's a massive jump in day 7.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can't say that the UK's got a handle on this really at all, can you?
No. You know, we were. Yeah, I mean, in the week since we started, the number of new cases per day has doubled. So that's that whole exponential growth rate thing starting to kick in, and it's going to go up a lot over the next few days, I would say.
And of course, you know, a lot of those people who are being tested and found positive because of the nature of the testing, which is that they're only testing people who, you know,
are at death's door.
Yeah, you know, these are people who are in trouble. These are people who have been admitted to hospital. They're not testing anybody else. That means all of those people are in hospital, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a new
or a vast majority of them.
A new research app that's out where people can self-report whether they're feeling okay or feeling rubbish. I will post links to it in the Twitter thing. So you basically you download the app and once a day you know say whether you've got any symptoms or anything, and they're actually using that as a way of estimating what the rest of the population infection rate is like.
But yeah, high.
Yeah.
Very, very high. And yeah, troubling because of course this factors in again as to whether or not I go to work in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I was worried about it enough just going on Monday.
Yeah.
And since Monday, which was 3 days ago, I've had, you know, just more exponential growth. So
yeah. And I need to decide what to do about my leg and going to the hospital.
Well, yeah, I mean we haven't talked about that. You want to run us over that quickly?
My leg really hurts.
How much does it hurt?
A lot.
Out of 10?
6.
Okay. You can go to the hospital when it gets to an 8.
Basically, I would describe it as I've got a blister the size of my kneecap, or my kneecap. So it's not the broken bone that's hurting, it's the skin that's rubbing on the inside of the cast. Yeah.
So you're trying to weigh up whether or not you risk it and go to the hospital and risk being exposed to such an infectious environment to have your cast replaced? What's the plan?
Yeah, replaced.
See, the thing is, you've already had your cast replaced once to stop the rubbing, and it just started rubbing again.
Yeah, but you know, it's because my leg is wasting away within my cast, so the cast is fixed. My leg's getting smaller. That's why it starts rubbing again.
So which way are you leaning currently?
I don't know. I don't want to go out. Because it's getting to the hospital is one thing. Being in the hospital is another thing, and then getting home again.
Well, you know, we could try taking the car on another adventure. It's only broken down on us once.
Yeah.
It was only horrific.
Yeah, I do think if we take the car, we should combine going to hospital with Sainsbury's as they're next door to each other.
Yes. If we do go out, it's going to be a full-on adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got your boiler suit ready? Your mask, your goggles?
I did think I had some masks. Having seen the woman at the end of the footpath in her what looked like a decorator's mask made me think, I'm sure I've got some masks from when I've been sanding something or spray painting something. And I went and looked in the shed and couldn't find them. They're not in my decorating box.
Yep. They also do fuck all. So there's that.
I know, but they do stop you from touching your face.
Yeah.
Even if they're not any good at stopping liquid particulates entering your face, then at least they stop you catching them and rubbing them in your face.
Yeah. Well, I'll try not to rub things in your face. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Till next time.
Till next time.
Till next time?
Till next time.
Till next time.